Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2 India Edition. Where last episode, guys, we built this big, beautiful, crazy oil industry line, which actually spreads all the way to Iran, and it goes all the way up to here right now. So basically what we got set up was a bunch of oil wells loaded up the trains with crude oil, and these oil wells here fed the refinery over there, and these oil wells here fed the refinery over here, which means that the trains going back and forth will consistently keep making money. Now, they're making so much money, in fact, that I think it's turned out to be our most profitable route, which the Kabul crude oil, you see that line there, it has. Absolutely ridiculous. And then what we've done with the refinery is producing the refined oil. We're then taking it all the way up north to here to drop it off in these bunch of factories. You got 3 fuel factories and 1 plastics factory. Now, we're not really taking any goods from over here just yet. We will be at some point in the future, but it's nice to know we can kind of start producing those goods whenever we are ready. That line's huge, and the line that is now taking the refined oil up to where we can produce fuel and plastics, that is currently here, boys. Now, it's a fairly new line compared to the crude oil line, the Kabul crude oil line, because we built that towards the end of the last episode, so you still got to give it time to make money. It only really makes money one way. We could eventually set it up to bring fuel down to some of the cities around it, which would be really, really efficient. But right now, the finance of this, it's only its first year, and it's the 5th most profitable line. That's going to skyrocket as time goes on. So welcome back to another episode, boys, of our Indian transportation company. I hope you guys are still enjoying this series so far. If you are, please make sure you smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new around here so you don't have to rely on the recommended tab to get your next episode. You'll get it straight away as you'll be notified. And leave a comment saying Seniac if we'll play some more, and we'll do just that. So what are we doing today then? Well, the whole purpose of building this line is to funnel more money into the company, which you can see the profits are getting higher and higher, to pay for our next set of expansions. And there's 2 things that I want to focus on in today's episode. One to do with our commuter line and something to do with our high-speed train line. Now, the high-speed train line, we'll talk about this first, and we'll do this at the end of the episode. But I want to, currently it goes from Tin to Coimbatore to Bangalore to Hyderabad, and it pretty much just goes back and forth there. The next city or station, we're going to make it go to Nagpur, sorry if that's how you call it, because it already looks like it's a pretty decent city in terms of size. It's a grid format, which is really nice for the growth of cities in this game, and that will be our next jump, and it's probably one of the biggest jumps between stations on our high-speed train line, so that's going to be interesting, but we'll do that a little bit later, because what I want to talk about first then is our commuter line. Now, if I go into our lines, we have a line here called Line 1, which I'm yet to name it because we haven't finished it. It starts in Bez and goes to Bangalore via Bellary and Raichur. Now, that's working out really good. It's actually a pretty decently profitable line, as you can now see. Makes some good cash. But I want to extend it, because we only half built it. I want to now extend it to its final cities. And what it's going to do is going to go from Bez to Rai to Bellary to Bangalore. We're going to make it then turn from Bangalore to go to Salem and end into Trichinopoly. That's how it's going to work. It's going to almost be like a semicircle, a little bit of a horseshoe route. But what that's going to allow us to do is the end station's there and the other end station's going to be here. So that will allow me eventually to run a line that will come up on this side through Puducherry to Nellore, and it will touch both of the stations on the end route. So another commuter line will kind of crisscross 2 stations on the other commuter line. And then once you got a train line running up here, this semicircle complete, these 2 cities in the middle will not have train stations. So what then we need to do is utilize streetcars and trams to connect up all the cities around this and create a streetcar network to get to the cities that don't have train connections. And that's how we create this small area. Now, it's only a small area compared to the whole of the map. This is how we make all this small little section here connected. But it's a big task. It's a big project. We can only do it step by step. So What we need to do first then is actually build the train stations in these two cities. Now the train line is going to extend from this left-hand side here. It goes down into a tunnel and it pretty much stops there. So we'll make it bend and pop up and then run down here. So we're going to quickly pause the game because there's going to be some destruction. And we're going to delete you. So hopefully we can kind of keep this all on the same level. Delete you. I'm going to keep that road just there. And we're going to create a bypassing train station. So it doesn't need to be too big. And the reason I like doing bypassing train stations is because it also allows us eventually... A lot of people said, yo, Seniac, why are you building bypassing routes on these smaller train stations? Well, it's mainly for when cargo trains have to go down this line. And if they're not stopping at this station, they can completely avoid the platforms and go through the middle onto the next station. And that's pretty much how I'm setting it all up. So... there is a bit of industry here that we are going to delete, but we're not going to delete all of it, which is okay. And we're going to go for the 160 spaced station. Now, if I build this here, right, so if I put you in, you can see the kind of the levels that we're working with. So we're kind of going to have to, do you know what? I'm going to delete this road. I know it contains a lot of industry buildings, but it will generate back. We haven't got rid of all the industry, so that's good. And we're just going to flatten this terrain area here. So we're going to take the level of the train station and use that as our flat piece here. Push this a little bit further out so we get a nice little slope on the go. That will terraform. And then all the smoothing inside here will then take place. I don't want it to be a perfectly flat city. I just want it to be nice and flat around the train station. And then smooth all this out there, smooth it all out here. The smoother the gradient of the land, the better the buildings can build. So smoothing you down there, create a little bit of a cliff edge. So that will drop down and it should be nice enough for our train line to drop down with it. So it's quite interesting to see this is a bit on a cliff edge near a river. I'm not sure what this place is like in real life, but I'm assuming it's not like this in real life. Right, let's get all these buildings now, train line connection stuffs now all on. Right, get rid of that platform there as we put a cargo on either side. And then passenger buildings, we'll pretty much build the same here. Get small either side. Very good, very good. Miscellaneous, we need the underpass. There's one there, so we'll replicate it there. We'll put the little stuff, what they called, sorry, the platform roof, that's what they're called. For this side, that's not going to connect, but it doesn't really bother us too much. So that is literally the bare minimum I require. Now, we're going to sort a little road out on the other side, take off all the ownership. And let's try and get this just right. We might be a little bit too far over. So, somewhat try and get it to be borderline the right height. Well, again, smoothing it off a little bit more. Now, I'm not saying buildings are going to build on this side, but it's also nice, you know, to have this type of connection, because you never know, they might bridge over. You just don't know how the city is going to react when you kind of do stuff like this. Now, I could instantly pull it into a tunnel, but I'm not feeling like that's going to be the best way to go about it. What I'm thinking of is, with the train tracks, we'll build a tunnel. We've got 2 tracks here. That's a little bit too long for what I require. We're going to spin this right round and get it into a line where we feel like would be about right. Because it has to go underground at some point. It's just figuring out where the best area would be for it. So if I set up, for example, let's just go randomly just here. I actually don't know where the turn for this is going to, if it's even going to work. So if I go for the outer side train track line, yes, okay, that works perfect. There's no issues there. Now, of course, we're going to have to do a crisscross. So can we make the crisscross take place on the bend? I might be asking a lot from this. Oh, no, we can, which is great. And then all we want here is to run this there. So it's a small commuter route, so you're not worried about the speed in which they can kind of travel at. That is the last thing on your mind, because they're consistently stopping and starting anyway. And you to here. So that's a solid little connection. So let's just now smoothen this off, make it look a little bit nicer. And then we'll see if we can do a road connection going over, just to allow the city to kind of technically grow around it all. So bringing this road down, can't hit it there because of the old crisscross. Ooh, actually, do you know what? I might delete that there in favor of the crisscross. Bring you in. Create a little bendy-wendy road from here. Right, and then run that going off still. And allow the city to take charge. Right, cancel you, bring you in and out. I'm already loving how the city is going to potentially look and how it's going to grow around this area. So that's our little kind of way to access the other side of the train tracks for the city to grow and build. What happens after that is entirely up to them. But I've got to put that crisscross in, which I'm just going to pull it just here. So no issues, no problems, does what I need to do, and we're now going to extend and connect all the way down. So we're now dropping down, so we're probably going to run the train station very similar to how we did this one, and what I mean by that is on the coastal front here. I'm going to push it a bit further down here, because it will also be where a train line crosses over. Maybe we could build an elevated train station over this one in Trichinopoly, which will eventually go up to Puducherry. So I want to kind of build it here. Now, building a train station here, what sizes are we working with? If I spin it right round, I've got the option to do this style of train station, like a normal platform, or I could go ahead and do like an end station platform. Now, would I see this continue to go further? No, but I much prefer having the buildings connecting on the side. So what are we, where are we having issues here? If I kind of spin that a bit more, that's going to push it to there. Does delete a lot of stuff, but it is what it is. Okay, it is what it is. Right, delete you. And, oh, hang on, autosave, boys. We're always waiting for autosave. Right there, so the train line's going to then kind of cling itself onto the edge before it bends up and out. Right, it's an interesting one. It's interesting how we're doing this. So this is an end route, so it doesn't need to have a bypassing line. It doesn't need to. It can just pretty much end like this. So I don't need to push it out any further. I will get rid of the platform there in favor of a cargo one. And in the miscellaneous, we need the underpass just there. There's already one built in by default. And then access. That's not close enough. I mean, it's fine anyway on the access, but I will get a passenger building here. These are way too big for buildings there. Oh, I could get one in there as well. Just for the funsies. Let's just do it. Let's just throw it all in. So, in terms of then the road. Now, of course, the land becomes a bit of an issue. So, if I bulk it out just a tad bit, we'll smoothen it all off. I'm actually going to delete this road and build a new road. But we'll smooth the terrain around it. There we go. Actually, I'm going to smooth the terrain around the whole town just to kind of aid the city growth a little bit more. Now, if I get a road, if I build the road just here, if I build it like that, and then, I mean, to be honest with you, if the bridge wasn't so connected like that here, I might just technically delete the bridge a little bit. And we're going to just reevaluate this scenario here. That's dropping down, which I feel like I don't want it to do. Terrain. Flatten. I know it's very high here, but we're smoothing it. And then bring this road continuing. How high is that? I don't want it too high. And then just get... It's a nice little coastal road we're working with here. So that would kind of come in. How's that connection not possible? Do I need to go back a bit more? What do you mean it's not possible? In what world? Is it because I need to kind of maybe smooth it out a bit more? Now try it. So the slope is too steep on this, so we're going to push back just a tad bit more. Right, we'll go to there. And we're now having a longer run up. There we go. So we borderline needed a little bit of a longer run up. So if I actually move the bridge a bit further down here, I might have enough room to squeeze a bit of a building in. But that allows me now to kind of incorporate the turn of the bridge in with the train station. Now, is that dropping down way too much? We can bring it up slightly, and then we'll leave it like that. Right. These coastal towns do become quite unique in the way that we kind of now set it all up, but bulk it up anyway. I'm really interested to see how this town is going to navigate its ability to grow. So let me just quickly check this train station here. I cannot, do you know what? I can't get a small building on. I mean, you can maybe do like a small cargo, but they're even there a little bit too big. Miscellaneous. I suppose it gives us the ability to maybe then have a building or two grow here, so it's not the end of the world. Okay, then, so the train tracks then. Now, this is going to be interesting because you want these to now bend around with us. So if I bring you to here, and of course we're going to push these as far out as we can. Now, without doing anything, how does a connection like this look? So something like that. Do you know what? I actually kind of like the idea of how that swings out and then swings back in. And that's all it needs to do. Now, of course, we've got to set up a crisscross, which let me first see if I can do a road connection. Too much of a slope on that. So I think this road here dips down a little bit too much, in my professional opinion. All right, bring you up to there, and then bring you around, trying to maintain the height and level. So it's still too much of a slope. Let me see if I can just terraform the land a bit better, because that also might be an issue. Where's the slope then? Okay, so the road is definitely still a little bit too low. Now, would you say that is reasonably heighted? That's not even a word. What about this one? Okay, we'll do this one instead. So we've got another connection there. And then we'll do our crisscross here. So I'm just trying to allow maximum connectivity for both sides of the station, even though that this is a coastal kind of area. And I'm not really going to be building much on that one side. We're going to go with it none the least. So bring you in. Bring you in. Crissy cross. Or not. There we go. We can now run that train all the way down here. Now, I'm really interested to see how these two cities are going to build around the train line. I am really intrigued to how they're going to do it. So that line 1 can now be fully extended. So it goes from Bellary to Bangalore to Raichur to Bez to Raichur back to Bellary, which will then go to, again, Bangalore, even though it already does that. But then it chooses to go to Salem, then to Trichinopoly, and then back to Salem, which it then goes for the top back to Bangalore again. Now, we're just going to make sure that when it goes to Bangalore now, it can only utilize one side of the platform. And is there an issue? Oh, that's how we change it. So don't utilize that side. Is that the correct side now? Yeah, it doesn't crisscross there. I'm just going to make sure that it's on the correct side in Salem right now. So that's correct. It doesn't crisscross, does it? Wait, is this on the right side of the train tracks? Drives on the left. Drives on the right. Has something switched here and we just don't know? Ah, okay. The Salem ones are the wrong way around. So that's 1. That's 2. Yeah, that's now on the left side, coming down. And it doesn't really matter on this one. So Trichinopoly is the other end route, like Bez is. So they can utilize both sides if multiple trains do enter in at the same time. So I've had that whole game now paused while trying to build that. And we've got some really interesting kind of now terraforming done to these areas. We can maybe bulk up this mountain a bit more here. So it's a bit more prominent and we can kind of see it. Which is probably a lot better. Roads to both sides, which is great. This is an interesting one as well because the way the bridge comes over. So I kind of really like that. And 2 new towns hooked up on that commuter line. So while we put it back into play mode then, that commuter line can now officially have a name. We're going to call it Bez to Trick. Why have I put I? I was meant to put a dash. Baz, not Baz, Bez. Bez to Trick. We know what it means. We know what it means. So we've got now more passengers and more people we can carry to and more towns we can now access as well. So yeah, we've took a big hit to Salem. That will update right now and tell us how big that dip was. And the same with Trick as well. Little bit of a hit. Big hit there. But they will grow back. That is the main thing. They will eventually grow back. So we don't need to worry too much. We haven't got to worry too much right now. So we do have 2 trains on that commuter line. So that line itself, where is it? Line 1. Oh no, it's called Bez to Trick now, isn't it? We've got 2 trains on that. There we go. I wouldn't say the trains are particularly always filled to the brim, but they might be now. So they'll hopefully make us a little bit more cash. Right, that's a nice little extension right there. And then pretty much completes that commuter line. And then gives me the ability to then start thinking about building the line going up here. It probably starts in... The line coming down here will probably start in Tinnevelli, go through Maduri, which we currently do not go through. It actually bypasses it there. Over Trick, into Pud, over to Now, to Bez, and then stop in Hyderabad. So the left line here for the commuter line will go down here, through there, through there, through there, through there, through there, and then be on the left side of the commuter line in Tin over there. And even though it pretty much ends in the same direction with the high-speed train line, this is a longer way, more stops as well, and it will be smaller and slower trains. So that's the difference. That is the difference. Right. You just now got to give it time for it to fall into place and for us to see the trains actually making their way over here. But yeah, these two, Arcot and Chudapar right now are not going to have any train connections, but that's where the streetcars will eventually come in with their connections. I'm actually quite excited to actually implement all that stuff, but it does just go to show there's a lot of work just for this small area, let alone the whole of India. I've still got to get connected. Right, very good, very good, very good. So that now opens up 2 new towns, like I said before. 2 new towns, 2 new connections, and a bunch new passengers we can now transport all over the place. We've got a couple of passengers already waiting here in Trick right now. Salem right now, there's a couple of passengers waiting there as well, which is pretty good. And they're okay utilizing my new bridge, right? Yeah, no issues there. New buildings being built. It's a new building over there being built. It's what we like to see. The cities are slowly growing back. So, where's the trains then is the question. There's one of the trains, and there's another train there. So, this train here will be the first one to do that journey. So, we're going to leave it alone then. And we're going to look towards now expanding the high-speed train line. Now, the fact that when we expand the high-speed train line, it unlocks a new region and a new bunch of cities we can connect to. For example, when we went to Hyderabad, we then also got these 4 cities around it connected to it. When we set up Bangalore, it enabled us to build this commuter line to making Bangalore the focal point of all of this. And when we extend it down to Tinnevelly right now, we've now also have access to all these towns. Although we haven't connected them, it gives us access to connect them, which is pretty good. And Coimbatore right now, this is an interesting one because we've set up the 2 lines either side, which we can now spiral off in a web into a bunch of different connections, again giving us the ability to connect. And I want to do the same over here. Now Nagpur right now has 4 cities mainly surrounding it, and if you zoom a bit more, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more cities surrounding them. So this is going to be a huge hub in terms of connections, but we do have to navigate through going around the wood industry. So I might have to build a tunnel just to kind of underpass it and then pop back out again. But in Nagpur right now, we need to create this style of train station again. This is our high-speed train station building style. It's just a shame you can't clone it and then replace it back down. So we're going to build it here, and we're going to utilize this road here as being the main road that we connect to. Now, I might do what I've done here and kind of build a little pokey out bit. I might make the road a bit thicker, but how did I do it in Bangalore? The same again. Okay, but I didn't do a thicker road. So that's interesting. So if I pause, and unfortunately we have to see more deletings again. And then can I squeeze it in here? I don't think I'm going to be able to. So what I'll do, we're going to use these 2 sides there as being the main point. So connect you in. Right. Now it does look like it's on different heights. So let's smoothie. Maybe flatty. And then smoothie. It's easier said than done, isn't it? If you get like a nice little area in the middle here we can work with. We'll be able to do the rest of it with ease. Right, building wise, we're going to go for the longest one possible. Is it the longest one that we built? Let me just double check. It's not. Is it the next one down to 240? It is. Right. Let's try and replicate this then, boys. So building you here. So I'm going to assume it's about there. Okay. Let me now build the middle and push and expand this out. So we got 2 sets of tracks. Platforms, and then we've got 4 sets of tracks, platform, and then 2 sets of tracks, and then platforms. Now, does that look about even if I put then some passenger buildings down? I would say not too far off, but I could also get rid of them buildings here. And maybe put down the larger building there. But no, because it doesn't touch. So maybe just keep it to the smaller buildings. I think that side's a bit more space, isn't there? So I'll have to make that road a bit longer. Now, I want them to be quite grand buildings. So we're going to go quite long in the building. And let me just quickly connect up now the roads for them. So yeah, it does destroy a bit. I'm completely well aware of that. But I like having this little bit of a grand entrance for the building. So we can bring that there. We can bring that there. There we go. And then this. It's almost where it should be. And then going across here, we all connect. And then lead that out. Just kind of preempting how the city would grow. That's pretty cool, isn't it? It is a pretty cool connection in the center. It's just, you know, the craziness that ensues after this. So now, sorting this all out, we'll try and do all the tracks first. Oh, I'm missing a train track. Oh, you idiot, Seniac. How have you missed a train track? No wonder that felt like it was slightly wider on this side. I am a sausage sandwich. That is how foolish I actually am. I literally said it's slightly wider on that side, as if like in my head I'm thinking like, how did I miscalculate that? And now it makes complete sense. I am a donut. Right, there we go. Platforms. It's okay, we'll have to redo the road. Oh, I mean, we are going to have to place in some cargo. Do you know what? We'll do the cargo here. There we go. There we go. Breathe, boy, breathe. I wonder if I can do the smaller passenger buildings, though. No, we're going to have to kind of edit this road no matter what. So, back to configuring. And what building? We want the tall building in the middle. And then roads. There we go. We got there in the end. Right, that's perfect now set up. That is borderline almost mirrored imaged, which is great. So next, we need to sort out the tunnels. And I want to see how short I can make these. I've got in my head, I've got 75-ish. So if I start with the 4, there we go. And then drop down to 2. 1, 2. Spin them right round. Bam, bam. So the reason I'm utilizing these tunnels is because I can make the train tracks go underneath the ground instantly. One, it reduces the pollution in general. And the noise, because there's less train tracks above ground affecting the city. You're not really going to win much because it is in the center of the city anyway, so that's not the main reason. The other main reason is you can allow or give the city more space around. So the Chrissy Crossies are just here and here to get to the other side. So like you can kind of see like in Hyderabad right now where the roads cross over, we minimize the amount of space the train station takes up and maximize the amount the city can grow around it, thus making it a bigger city and a better connected city as well. So the train tracks are pretty much all done. We'll have to do some terraforming to sort it all out, but the last thing I need to do is enable them to get to each one of these platforms. So we'll just utilize the middle. We'll do 2 in the middle like that. We'll do these here. We'll do it on all of them. So as much coverage as we can. And what it's cool is this era determines how the buildings look as well. So that's pretty cool too. Right, that train station's now done. It's just that everything else then around it. So smoothing the terrain. And then we'll get some roads to run around it as well. So that's slightly going uphill, isn't it? I might actually delete that and that, just because it's kind of going uphill. Alright, sort all this out here. And I think we're okay. So, the roads then, keeping it straight. Alright, they're trying to go... and connect to it. That's the minimum height I can make it raise by. And then bringing this over in a snap. Because you want to drop it down as soon as you can. Which will keep it just there. That's completely fine. This one's got no issues. But again, it's just all about making sure it's right. You know what I mean? So bring you to there. That will connect to there. Bring you down. Alright, there's a snap. Bring you down slightly so this connects. So, and then you just let the city do the rest. You're smoothing all the edges. Make it as buildable friendly as possible. And minimal disruption to the city itself. Right. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? It does look pretty good. This is going to be... I feel like this Nagpur right now is going to be a crazy city. It's going to be a crazy city. Right, I'll just finish it up with that road there connecting. And then leave it like that. I don't want to do any more. Don't want to do any more. So we've got to get this connected to here. Now, obviously that's going to kind of come down there. I can even make it pop out. I can even make it go right round. Oh, but then again, that's got to come up this way and then turn. And then swoop in. So, or I can make it go down and then pop out and in. Right, let's just see where this kind of elevates up onto first. So, bringing this out. Alright, there's the snap. And it wants to appear out of the ground. About there. Okay. And then do the same here. Now, the Chrissy Crossies that do take place happen there, there, and the actual full-on crisscross. We're now all in one line. So, that appears to there. I could make this run down, but then that's going to kind of come up. And then we'll make it bend. And then maybe we make it underpass all of this. Or I do the underpass. And I could actually make this quite long. Just so visually it looks pretty cool. So I could do it like here. And then we just need this. Have I just built 4? I have. We just need that to then bend around it. Which it bends at an... Oh, it bends at a 90... Right, 90 because of the bridge. Alright, buildings 2. Maybe make it a bit smaller. Bit smaller. And... not as harsh. So if I brought that to there, I don't want the bridges. Bringing you in your straight line. The collision is an issue. All right, let me just delete this road. We'll connect it back up in just a moment. Because it does affect my industry. And then this is a 120 on that whole bend. Which we can live with that. That's not too bad. Maintains the high speed, or at least what we consider high speed at this era in the game. So let me now just quickly sort this out. So I wonder if I can make this go under as a bridge. So bendy wendy on that. If I to there, just for the funsies. For the funsies, it's pretty cool, isn't it? Just watch that drop down. Let's just sort the terrain out. There we go. Into a beautiful high-speed tunnel. That's glorious. So we just got to connect it up right now to Nagpur. Is it Nagpur or Nagpur? Right, let me get right under. Oh, okay. We actually do have an issue. I don't think we're low enough. So you can make it go under if it's low enough. So I might need to delete you. Delete you back a little bit more. And then the underground turn, the length, the portal height reference. Let me go to there. We're not low enough. I think it's actually kind of, it goes under but then starts to lift back up again. What does that change? I can't make that go like minus numbers, can I? What did that change? Oh, the length there. No. Right, okay. So that is slightly going uphill, isn't it? So if I delete all of this. Okay. And then we're going to make this go. Oh, hello. Go straight again. What's the collision? Oh, there's that random bit here. To dip down. Not to a point where it's going to go underground. And let's see now. So if I put that... Is that back to what it was? Yeah, put that back to what it was. Now, we should be a lot lower. Yes, we are. So that goes there. This runs into there. There we go. Now we got it sorted. I have no idea why it's trying to protrude here. I think that might be a case of the terrain's not high enough. So let me just do that. Put you in. And then let's just build the rest of this first. Before we commit to anything. And then just smooth them real quickly. So that's pretty cool then. So it pops under there and then doesn't come back out until after the wood industry. I like it. I really like that. So last thing I'm going to do is just smoothen all of this. Because now it's completely changed how this area now behaves. That's pretty cool. So you only see the train tracks just here. Nice. Okay. So we can now officially extend then the high-speed train line to Nagpur, which means from Nagpur we can then start building more connections coming off it to reach more towns. Now I feel like this here, I'm going to be honest with you, is not looking great at the moment. I'm going to bring it out a bit further maybe. Right, let me delete that. Smoothing all that out. There we go. It just needed to kind of come out a little bit more. That's all it needed to do. It was slightly annoying me, that. But I like how you only see the train track there. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Now, I 100% know. Oh, do you know what? I haven't done signals on the other train line as well. I've just realised that. I know 100% we do not have high-speed trains yet. You know, I'll be a fool to even say that I do. It's not that era in the game. I mean, the train tracks aren't even high speed. And the crisscross just there. So that sorts out the signals here. I haven't got no signals. Where are we? Here. So this makes completely no sense to us at the moment for running anything down here. There we go. All they're going to be waiting for is station-based stuff. Station signals, if that's the best way to pull it. And is that a train there on the way? Yes, it is. Right, okay, so we can now finally extend the high-speed train line going up to Nagpur, which is amazing, which will eventually have access to all these little satellite towns around it, which will eventually connect up. Now, we would have done a little bit of detrimental demolishing to it. Nothing too bad, hopefully. It will grow back quite dramatically. So the high-speed train line then, when it gets to Tinnevelly... Where's Tinnevelly? All the way down there. That's the very end of it. And then Hyderabad. So it goes Bangalore, Hyderabad, then back to Bangalore, and then Coimbatore. So it starts in Bangalore, goes to Hyderabad, which they will add a station to here. Back down to Hyderabad. It's a little bit complex and all over the place now, isn't it? We don't make it do the one, but in Nagpur we make it do both. Hyderabad, it's on the wrong platforms. Bam. Bam. Crisscross them. We're now all okay. So, don't select you. Let me just double check we're all okay. Yeah. So Nagpur and Tinnevelly are the only ones where you utilize both sides of the station. We now have the extension now taking place. So although we've only done minor improvements and minor extensions to 2 train lines, it will make a huge difference. Right, this train's actually leaving here for the first time now. It's actually just picked some people up. It will make a huge difference in the long run. Now, we've extended the line but haven't added more trains, which means the rate now decreases with how often a train does come to these areas. Which means that when they do eventually get here, there'll be more people waiting. So the trains will get even more filled up. Anyone... Oh, there's now already got a few people over here waiting. And when I say a few people, I mean one person. But we should start seeing more. It does create a good collection radius as well. This is exciting, boys. This is very exciting. I'm liking how it just kind of pops out, speeds around a bend, and then pops back in. That is how we build them high-speed train lines, when they will eventually become high-speed train lines. But we're still waiting for an era where we've got better trains. That is what we're waiting for. Now, do we need to add a third train to this line? Potentially, yes. Do we need to add another train line to the high-speed train line? Again, potentially, yes. But we're going to see how these go. We'll kind of re-evaluate them in the next episode. But like I said, it unlocks so many more areas in which we can now work with. Small improvements, but big impacts. So I think next episode then, what we'll do is we'll look to trying to finalize this little region of India. Add the additional train line cutting through it, get the streetcars all added in, and then maybe we can then start supplying these cities with some of the goods that we are producing. That is also going to be very, very exciting. So I haven't had the game in play mode much, but we'll have a little bit of a fast forward and see what we can get done. This train's now on the way back. Filled to the brim, 65 people all on board. Chew, baby. And it's doing the magic. It's doing the magic, boys. Up the hill it now goes. That's the only downside of these hills, but again, we'll eventually have more powerful trains. Won't make much money here, because it's only a short distance between these two towns. I think one person may have got on or off. And off it goes. But we could probably need better trains, bigger trains, faster trains on this commuter line. But that will all come with time. That will all come with time. So Nagpur, there's a train on the way to Nagpur for the first time. There is 14 people currently waiting here, which is pretty sweet. 17 now as more people arrive. Bit of a weird slope, isn't it, this? It is a bit of a weird slope, but, you know, we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it, boys. Lots more people now on the way. And we'll see when this train gets over here. So, oh, it's already here, pretty much. It's pretty much already here. So it should, there we go, pop up here. So not really much of a high-speed train line. It eventually will become one. But the problem is, because we've extended it, it has to complete the route again before it can actually start picking people up. We had that issue when we extended it all the way down to Tinnevelly. It was kind of hilarious when we found out. But we'll end it here, boys. Hope you did enjoy this. If you did, please smash that like button down below. Only small expansions, but they play a huge role in the next step and how we move our Indian transportation company. Guys, if you did enjoy this, smash the like button down below. Subscribe if you are new. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.